Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/comedy podcast network. Over 100,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
Everybody in podcast land, and welcome to another sports podcast. I'm Joel Anderson.
I'm Jordan Pomaville.
And joining us as always is the sports outsider, Phil Ranta.
I'm outside. It's cold. Let me in.
It is a little chilly at the moment.
Bring you into the warmth of the sporting world.
Yeah.
Oh, leave me out in the cold.
No.
One way into the warmth of the
geez.
sporting world, Phil. Did you catch any games this week?
It's been 2 weeks since we've aired an episode.
That's true.
And
welcome back, everybody.
welcome
Let's say
back.
that first. Thanks for giving us our week off.
Yeah,
We needed it.
we appreciate it.
Yeah.
And no, I didn't watch anything in those 2 weeks.
Really?
So busy. I was busy with other things.
Dog.
I'm sick of saying really when you say no.
Yeah,
The
be
entire
honest.
It's a
college-
waste of my
No.
time.
It's a waste of breath.
The entire college bowl season. Do you even on like New Year's Day? Like even I don't watch as much college football as I used to, but I still make a point on New Year's Day of trying to sit down and watch.
No.
Because it's like,
No.
He doesn't like sports. He's a sports outsider.
Yeah, I saw people on
understand,
Facebook commenting about different teams winning things, and people tried to talk to me about my alma mater, Michigan, and I just didn't get it. I didn't care. I don't
well,
care.
that's what we pay you for, Phil.
I don't care.
Yep, you don't care, you don't pay attention. You're the sports outsider.
Yeah, so let's do a sports podcast. you guys.
Yeah.
Well, later in the show, we will be doing a bowl recap.
Hey, so I'll learn something.
Yeah, you'll
Yeah.
learn something, and I'm going to
We'll
be
get you up
handing
to
out
speed.
some bowl superlatives.
Ooh. You are
Okay.
a bull superlative.
And some bowl awards.
Yeah, you're also a bull award.
But I'd like to hand out one to start off the show here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Best comedy, musical, or variety series bowl.
Oh.
The national championship game.
There we go. Was it a
Oh.
comedy or was it a musical?
It was a comedy.
Oh, was it?
I'm going to go out on a limb here, Jordan, and say that based on what I know about you,
Yeah.
you really enjoyed the Monday night national championship game.
I did. Final
Because
score.
you really hate Notre Dame.
I do.
Ah,
Yeah.
Notre Dame. Hunchbacks go there. To that school.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do. A bunch of
That's the
hunchbacks.
cathedral
Notre
in
Dame
Paris.
is French, and their mascot's fighting Irish. It makes no sense.
It makes no sense. But
Alabama absolutely decimated them, 42-14. You know, Notre Dame coming
Wow.
into this game was the #1 ranked team in the country.
yeah.
Wrap your head around that one.
I was driving home from work. We're in LA, so the game started at like 5:30,
Right.
And I've got to get home. You know, I left at 5, got home by like 5:45, and Alabama was already up 14-0.
Wow.
It was like, okay,
So 42-14. It was not as close as that score might indicate.
no, it really wasn't.
Really? Because that seems to me, it seems like it's a decent gap, but it doesn't seem like a blowout.
I feel like if Alabama had really wanted to, they could have shut Notre Dame out pretty easily.
Absolutely.
They
And
didn't want to shut him out? Quitters.
well, if you weren't a Notre Dame fan or a journalist trying to create a storyline about the Irish actually having a chance, you're
Yep.
not surprised at all by this.
No,
Oh, okay.
not even a little bit.
And actually, at the time of this recording, 3 members of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish are still embedded in the Sun Life Stadium turf.
Yep.
Psychiatrists are counseling these players who have thus far refused the grounds crew's help to extract them from the grass.
Yep.
Speaking in terrified gasps, red helmets with numbers, so many.
Oh, that's sad.
Notre Dame managed 32 rushing yards.
32 rushing yards. Didn't we hear something about their power ground attack?
Oh, we sure did.
Yeah. Didn't work out.
Alabama now has 3 national championships in 4 years. That's
Yeah.
a dynasty.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to go out and say I think Nick Saban may be the greatest college football coach of all time. The era in which
Wow.
he's doing this is an era in which it's pretty stupendous.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and it's his 4th overall national title.
Good for him.
I know, it's a lot, right?
Yeah, does he get a ring for each one?
He does.
Then he's got a whole hand because you don't put rings on thumbs.
Nope.
Well,
So
Does he put rings on thumbs?
he may have to by the time he's
No,
said
you
and
got
done.
I was going to say, if he puts rings on thumbs, I'm going to have words because that's tacky.
Yeah. I'd just like to go ahead and say I feel like this happens fairly often that even now you get to that point, like last year when it was LSU and Alabama in the national title game, and some people were really upset that they're like, oh, it's unfair that the SEC gets as much credit as it does. And I like to point out, once again, they have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that it is totally deserved. And that there's nobody even in the same league as them.
Right, except Louisville. But we'll get to that later.
Right.
Don't worry. That actually is best writing in a comedy, musical, or variety series.
Okay, all right.
They
Spoiler.
wrote that show.
Yeah.
The other big thing in the national championship game was Brent Musburger.
Yes.
Burnt Musburgers.
Burnt
Yes.
Musburgers, that's right.
Hashtag athlete food puns.
Who's one of Joel's favorite newspaper journalists.
Right? One of my, but just the best writer of all time.
He started complimenting a young lady, and some people thought he took it a little too far. A.J. McCarron, quarterback of Alabama, his girlfriend, super hot.
Okay.
Miss Alabama 2012.
Really?
To be fair, it's Miss Alabama USA.
Right. Okay.
That's the off-brand one. It's the Pepsi. It's
but
not.
still, Alabama generally has good stock, right? A lot of pretty people in Alabama, huh?
Southern Belles.
Yeah, they blonde hair, and they're like, "My Lord, I've got a Bud Light.
Oh, you're giving me the vapors.
Oh, I'm drunk
And
at
I'll go ahead and
rodeo."
say this woman, while not my type per se, was quite beautiful.
How was she not your type, Joel? She was fit. She's
Yeah.
athletic. She's
Was
an
she
Auburn
white?
grad.
Was
She's
she
a little
white?
too put together. if
Was
you
she
ask me.
white? Was she white?
Yeah.
She was
Joel does
white.
not like white girls.
No, but she was
Ladies.
very like modelly. You know, that's
Right, because
Yeah.
she's gorgeous.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she's Miss Alabama USA. So
That's great.
Maybe she's kind of modelly.
Yeah.
yeah,
But so they show her, and then they kept showing her,
yeah.
and because she looks beautiful, and she's next to his mom, and he called her a lovely lady, and then he's like, "You quarterbacks, you get all the good-looking women. What a beautiful woman!
Yeah.
Wow!" And Kirk Herbstreit says "whoa" in the background and tries to restore professional order.
Yeah.
And Burnt Musburger says, "AJ's doing some things right in Tuscaloosa. If you're a youngster in Alabama, start getting the football out and throw it around the backyard with Pop."
Why is that out of line? That doesn't seem
I know.
out of line yet.
I don't know.
He's not wrong.
What do athletes? I mean, athletes, like any profession, they do it to get a higher quality of lady, right?
Yeah.
That's
And
not
money. And
why.
money.
That's not why
Yeah.
they do it. I think that's one of the enviable perks of being an
Yeah.
athlete or podcaster.
Right.
Is that you get really attractive women who are attracted to you.
Yeah,
the
totally.
tail that we pull because of this podcast.
Well, they
guys.
just love. They want to hear me talk.
I know.
They just would say, "Oh, talking your
I've
voice."
been dating Miss California USA.
Oh, the off-brand.
Well, yeah.
I'm sorry.
We're gonna
It's
need
too
a
bad.
few more people subscribing to us in iTunes before I can upgrade to Miss California. But,
Right.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Hey, so people at home, that's my plea to you.
Yeah, get a microphone and start talking bullshit.
Yeah.
And I'd like to add, because some people say we sound alike on the podcast.
Yeah, we do sound alike on the
I
pod.
take all the girls that think I'm you.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I take all the girls that think I'm you.
It's like some version of the Parent Trap,
It
but
is
not,
like
Yeah.
some
not
version-
really.
Not really.
A little creepier, but still good.
You'll know this, Phil. You're into social media.
Yep. Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest,
Instagram.
I take some Instagram photos. At Phil Ranta.
Catherine Webb is AJ McCarron's girlfriend's name.
Okay.
She went from 2,300 followers on Twitter
Mhm.
to over 105,000
On Instagram?
on Twitter.
On Twitter.
Yeah.
Wow, good for her.
Just because they're showing her on ESPN, and she just totally blew up.
Wow, good for her.
Yeah,
She
pretty-
can make a career out of that. She can get paid to pitch things now on her Twitter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
possibly.
Yeah.
She's also gained actual followers, pale men between the ages of 32 and 58,
Mhm.
who all have the goal of exposing themselves to her as a way to win her heart. Parole officials have been notified.
That's good.
I feel like it's gonna work.
Yeah.
I feel like one of them's got a shot. That if he just whips it out, she's gonna go you.
It's the new face of dating. Send pictures of your penis on Twitter to people who weren't asking to see it. And then it's like a meat market. They're like, "Ooh, I'm going to date that one."
I gotta wonder
It's
if that
exactly
works.
like a meme.
Isn't that yeah.
Brett Favre tried that. Anthony Weiner tried that.
Anthony Weiner's were of his torso, though.
And his penis. Well,
No, he didn't.
Okay,
He had
he
one-
didn't. Not his exposed penis, but he did his jockey shorts, right?
I don't know. I just remember the Brett Favre one. That's the only
Okay.
one.
Well,
That's
the Brett Favre
Yeah,
one. Was
everyone
clearly-
can Google it and then Google themselves.
All right, what do we got in the show?
Let's see. We have Phil once again. His series of microphones set up in every sports location around the world.
Right.
Yeah, I
I love
forgot
this
about
explanation.
Yeah, it came in handy because we have the NHL Players Association and the owners have finally come to an agreement.
We're
on
gonna
a
have
collective
hockey,
bargaining.
Joel.
Yes, we're gonna have
Oh,
hockey.
hockey's back.
Yes.
Oh, good. Something else to ignore.
Okay.
I was going to say, you can't have, seeing as you don't follow sports, you can't have that strong of opinion about
No, I
hockey.
don't. I'm happy that it's back because that means more ad revenue, right? People get to sell ads
Yeah.
against hockey games, and
bars are working by stadiums,
yeah, the
by
economy
arenas.
starts moving again. I like the economy moving.
Yeah, and we are lucky enough to have exclusive audio of the federal mediator Scott Beckenbaugh getting
Scott
an agreement.
Beckenbaugh?
I forgot what his last name was.
Oh,
Scott Beckenbaugh.
I thought his name was
checked
Scott
my-
Beckenbaugh, like
No.
all was a letter.
Scott Beckenbaugh.
Hello, I'm
We
Scott
could
Beckenbaugh.
keep calling him that.
Okay,
but,
cool.
Him and Donald Fair, the Players Association representative, and
Donald
Gary Bettman.
Fair, and he was a negotiator.
I think it's Fehr is how you spell his name. I don't actually know how
I
you
always thought
pronounce
it was
it.
fur.
Fur? Donald Fur?
But I don't know.
yeah. Either way,
I switched the channel when SportsCenter does hockey
the
news.
moment of truth when they came to an agreement that saved the NHL season, we have on exclusive audio. We're going to play it for you.
Oh,
guys,
that's
right?
awesome because I heard these were very contentious talks and this came
Very
down to the wire.
contentious talks.
Ooh.
Came right down to the wire.
Omar
and we-
was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Omar's coming.
Almost coming.
They
Whistling
settled it with a
Farmer
trivia
Nadell.
contest about the wire.
We're also, I already said we're going to do a bowl recaps with awards and superlatives.
Yeah.
Should be fun. Looking forward to that.
Yep.
Say, Phil,
Yep.
do you have anything about bizarre recreational activities or odd competitions?
Oh, are you talking about weird sports?
You're goddamn
You're
right. I am.
goddamn. Oh no! Yes. Oh, Jordan took it from me. Yeah, I've got a weird sport this week. It's gonna be
Nice.
it's gonna be good.
All right. Real treat here. Exclusive audio from the conference room where the Players Association and the owners came to a final agreement on the collective bargaining agreement for the NHL. Going right now.
All right, Donald, Scott, let's see if we can get together and make a deal real quick. Let's see if we can make this happen.
Yeah, I think that it's about time we finally end this, right?
I agree. I think I'm amenable to us finally. I want to save the season.
Yeah, the bars are going under. The bars are going under, and the players need
It's
to play
about
hockey.
the bars, yes, and the owners are losing money. So we should be able to come to an agreement here.
I actually have some documents here that I thought maybe each of you could take a look at. I've tried to create a compromise here
Okay.
with some of the paperwork. If you'll take a look.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Does anyone else feel like the temperature in the room's maybe off a little bit?
Yeah, I just tried to pick up the documents, and my hand's a little cold.
Cold. I actually think it's a little warm. So
Well,
What are you
it's right at 72. It's room temperature. It's just
I
72.
got to be honest
This
with
is
you.
not-
I really think we should go for 71 here.
Nah, I'm a big fan of. I want to go down to 64.
60.
64.
I'm not. That's not acceptable, Scott.
Yeah.
That is not acceptable.
Yeah.
I will get up and walk out of here.
Can we take
if
it down to
if we take it down to
64?
64?
You know, maybe 67 would be a.
You know
a
what? I'll
nice
settle
middle
for
ground.
70.
You know what?
73.
That is totally unacceptable.
Can
Scott,
we just?
I am not willing
no,
to settle.
I'm good. 73. That's my final offer.
Warmer now, you'd like.
Yeah,
I
let's
could
go to 73.
maybe 72.
I'm sticking
and a
with no. 72 is
I'm
unacceptable.
not gonna
71
budge now. 73.
I'm
I
not
wanted
budging on
64,
71.
Now I want
I
73.
am standing firm
will
on
you
my-
will you look at this? I brought in some snacks. Maybe we could just have some snacks. I think you guys are maybe hungry. You're acting like Aretha Franklin and Joe Pesci, respectively. So let's see if we can have some snacks here.
Wait,
maybe,
I'm Aretha Franklin, right?
of course.
Okay.
And some beverages here, and maybe that will calm things down. We can forget about the room temperature.
Okay. Well, I brought donuts.
Donuts. That's wonderful. That's
I only eat bagels.
Okay. Well, I am not budging on donuts.
Well, I need to have bagels.
I'm going to have to insist that we stay with bagels here. I'm donuts here, and I'm not going to buy bagels as well.
No,
okay?
I only eat when everybody else
You're
at the table is eating
just
bagels.
full of demand, aren't
no,
you? Here?
you're the one that said donuts first. If I don't eat bagels alone. But
We
eating
are
bagels
not-
is a multi-man sport.
We are not made of money, okay? We can't just go buy on you donuts and bagels all the time.
What are you
okay?
talking
League
about?
revenues are down. We cannot afford bagels.
Oh, bagels, they're like $2 a piece. Come on.
This is typical. This is
This
typical
is
of his
typical.
position.
You know what? Let's all starve then.
Fine. I will have a cup of coffee.
all right. Excellent. We do have coffee here. I'll just.
I want a whole milk.
whole milk. That's a bit unusual of a request. We
No,
don't have any whole milk. I have some half.
I
got
suppose you
calcium.
want me to pay for the whole milk, don't you?
Well,
Just
no.
full of demands.
Well, fine then. I'll just drink your coffee.
You can't take. That's my coffee.
No, you're the one that offered it first.
No, I said that I wanted a coffee. I wasn't offering you a coffee.
Well, then
This
I'm
is
going to
so
drink
typical.
your coffee, or we're none of us are going to drink. We're all going to die like we're abandoned in the desert.
You know what? I'm ready to die. I am
All right.
ready to die, but I am standing my ground
Well, you
on
know
this.
what? I want us all to live very long lives.
In that case, I will die sooner.
Well, no, I want us to all live together in a small farmhouse in southern Nebraska.
You can't be making demands like this of me. I am looking forward to an early death.
Oh, like dying is so cool. Living's where it's at. Everybody lives. Everyone I know lives.
Everyone has to die at some point, Donald.
This is ridiculous.
You know, if you had any sense, you'd be able to accept that, and
You're
we could move
so
forward.
unreasonable.
Okay, you
This
are
is
being
so
totally
I
unreasonable.
worry that
unreasonable.
we're getting off track from the task at hand, which is the National Hockey League, trying to get a season here going.
Yeah. Can I just go ahead and say I think maybe I should sit at the head of the table?
Well,
Wait, sit at the head of the table?
I think I should have the seat at the head of the table.
I think you should sit at the foot of the table.
I
think you should.
You would like that,
move
wouldn't
your
you?
chair
But I
and sit
represent
on the
the
ground.
owners. I think that I should sit at the head of the
No,
table.
you should sit on the ground.
the
I'll
more
sit at the
important
head of the
position.
table.
gentlemen,
I'm
this
gonna-
is a circular table. There is no head. There are no corners. We're all evenly spaced around it.
So you're okay with me sitting at the head of the table? See,
Fine,
the
I'll just sit
mediator
at the head of the
sides with
table
me.
then.
No, that's not
No,
what I said
I'm
at all.
at the head of the table now.
I am at the head of the table.
I call. I'm head of the table right now. No take backsies.
That is okay. I'm simply
already
not
said
going to
no
accept
take
that.
Maybe
Backsies.
both of you could be at the head of the table.
No such
right
thing.
now,
There's
and I'll
only
be
one
at the
head.
foot.
We couldn't both
Are there
be at the head of
multiple
the
Donald
table.
Trumps who are head of multiple hotel chains and real estate companies? No, there's one head of those companies.
Listen.
I'm the Donald Trump. You're the less than.
This is not unlike my favorite band ever, the Beatles. They said, and in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you
Whoa,
make.
wait, the Beatles?
Didn't they
My
also-
favorite band ever is Rolling Stones because they said, give me shelter.
You charlatan. You
What?
charlatan.
Oh, come on, the Beatles.
I'm the one who needs shelter, and it's from your unreasonable demands.
Oh, half of their stuff is just noise.
Oh my gosh!
All you
that
need is a
totally
mute button.
Ridiculous.
Ba-ba-da-da-da.
All I need is 54% of league revenues for the owners.
Yeah, I wish that Penny Lane wasn't in my ears.
You know, I really enjoy The Who, and I think maybe all of us should be listening to The Who
Are you
more
going to
and
stay out of this?
overlooked-
Are you going to stay out of
I'm
this?
I
sorry,
think
I didn't-
Scott
I didn't
kind
mean
of
to
sides with
interrupt.
me. The Who is more like the Beatles than they are the Stones.
Oh, you're kidding me. The Who, the loudest band on earth, they're more like the Stones.
Okay, that is totally ridiculous, and it's understandable that you would find that position because you have no respect for what it takes
Oh.
to build an organization from the ground up like the owners of the NHL have.
You know what? Why don't you go the way of shut your mouth, huh? Idiot.
That wasn't a Beatles song.
That was
I wasn't trying to make a Beatles reference.
that was not civil. Okay, and I think he is the one who should shut his mouth.
I wish I had Catcher in the Rye in my pocket so I could shoot you.
I think the problem here is it seems that neither of you want to come to an agreement. Each of you seem dead set.
Donald doesn't want to come to agreement.
Against-
Well, I want to come to
You
an
know
agreement
what? No,
immediately.
I want to come to an agreement
I
right
want
now.
to come to
You know what?
agreement
I'm
more
gonna
than
come to
Donald.
agree- You know what? I'm signing
gonna
this
have to
paper right
insist-
now.
I'm going to have to
signing this
insist
paper
that I will
with my
sign this
name
paper
on it.
too.
There
We will
we
come
go.
to an agreement.
Yeah, that's right.
That is a compromise. I have compromised more than Donald. I want the record to show
Hey,
that.
I compromised way more.
I don't think you compromised at all, Donald.
No, there wasn't a
The
moment. You
spirit
know
of
what?
These negotiations.
You know what? I'm going to kiss you right on the mouth right now.
I am going to kiss you first.
No,
is
I'm
what
gonna
gonna
kiss
do.
you first.
I'm going to
I'm
kiss
kiss
you.
you
I'm going to
first.
kiss you so tenderly that.
I'm going to get this notarized, and I'll leave you two here.
Your earlobes are soft.
Your earlobes are soft.
My earlobes are as soft as could be expected, and
Whoa! Recap and awards.
All right. Bowl recap and awards.
That was a great drop.
it was a
was.
great drop.
is it Eeyore? Who?
I don't know. It was the guy I think who used to do the Mentos drop, but of course we don't
Oh,
do
right.
Tim Tebow watch updates as much anymore.
Well, we're
There
out of the
might be
regular
those
season.
in the
We
off-season.
finally don't have to do it anymore.
Yeah.
So
Well, there might be some with the movement. I think he might be traded, right?
okay. Well, we will keep all of our listeners posted in any relevant Tebow news.
This is a sports
Love it.
podcast. We need to keep people abreast of
Yeah.
Tim
Ah,
Tebow.
breasts. Love them.
Okay.
Let's recap them bowls.
Most lopsided.
Ooh.
Ooh, footballs are lopsided in general. They're oblong shaped.
That's correct, Phil.
Yep.
It's gonna be hard to find a counterpoint to what Phil just said.
Yep.
Heart of Dallas Bowl. Oklahoma State 58, Purdue 14.
Ouch.
Ooh.
Not a good year for the Big Ten.
Not a good year. Oklahoma State ate Purdue's heart in front of it and made it watch. And Purdue cried and said, "Oh, we wanted a bowl trip, but not when two of our conference's best teams are ineligible for the postseason, placing us higher in the bowl pecking order than we should be."
Oh, that's
Oh,
Georgia
that's my heart.
whiners.
Oh, those poor bastards.
Most lopsided defeat of the bowl season, 44 points.
Ooh.
To my chagrin, Notre Dame did not lose by more than 44 points.
Ah.
They could have. They absolutely could have, though.
Absolutely. could've.
Couple of bounces, they could have lost by 44 points.
Best writing in a comedy, musical, or variety series bowl.
Oh, you already tipped this one.
Sugar Bowl. Number 21, Louisiana. Louisville Cardinals, 33. Number 3, Florida Gators, 23. It was not that close.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound close. It sounds distant.
Yeah.
Gonna be honest with you, actually, the SEC as a whole did not perform spectacularly well this postseason.
No, absolutely not. Not as well as we've come to
As
expect.
you come to expect. Bama
Wow.
did crush the number 1 team, but
Right. Well, they were not the number 1 team in the nation.
No.
Not anymore because they were crushed.
Yep.
So the Big East says, "How you like me now?" Wait. Actually, don't answer that.
Because they don't.
What?
Yeah.
They don't like
that's
them.
right.
Is Louisville still in the Big East?
Louisville is still in the Big
It's
East.
so hard to tell these days.
Yeah. Well, the Big East still exists
Yeah.
this year. I think in another couple years they will not be getting the auto bid, though. They lose the auto bid when we move to the 4-team playoffs.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Participation Award.
Everybody wins.
Capital One Bowl and Outback Bowl. The SEC thanked the Big Ten for coming out for these bowls. Georgia beat Nebraska 45-31. South Carolina beat Michigan 33-28. The Big Ten played 2 of SEC's best teams tough for almost a whole game,
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
leaving many to applaud their efforts for playing in difficult matchups.
I know. I lost money on the Michigan-South Carolina game.
Oh, really? You took
I had
the
South
points?
Carolina -6, which I would have won if South Carolina missed a 2-point conversion at the end, right?
I don't think
Didn't they? All right. Well, either way, I was pretty close. but I
Google
didn't
it,
get there.
people.
Yeah.
We got the internet.
I want to say, speaking of Michigan, in particular, they did an excellent job of showing up this year. They played games against number 1 Alabama,
Yep.
number 4 Notre Dame, AP number 3 Ohio State, and number 7 South Carolina. They lost them all, but arrived at the stadium promptly to play some very challenging teams.
Yes.
That's good.
Way to
Because
go,
tardiness
guys.
is unacceptable once you're in college. Can't be tardy.
No.
No, tardy people end up working at the muffler shop.
Just the opposite. Once you get to college, you can be tardy.
Joel,
Don't take attendance anymore. Like, in high
that's
school.
why you're working at the muffler shop.
There's no counter argument for that. He's right.
Most Rich Rodriguez Bowl game. Gildan, New Mexico Bowl. Arizona 49, Nevada 48. While it's common sense, nobody believes in the phrase, if you score the most points, you win, more than Rich Rodriguez. Arizona was down 45-28 entering the 4th quarter. He's known for his fly-high offenses.
High-flying offenses.
There was a joke somewhere. High-flying offenses and often higher-flying offenses of his opponents.
Yeah.
The Wildcats scored 2 touchdowns in the final 46 minutes. And if you watch this one, it was a hoot at the end. It was an absolute
How
hoot.
did you mean last 46 seconds?
Oh, did I say minutes? Yeah, last 46 seconds.
Because two touchdowns in the last 46 minutes, not actually that
No,
impressive.
no,
No,
that's
I could probably do that.
Yeah.
there was an onside kick with a minute left and a touchdown with 19 seconds left, which, of course, is plenty of time for a Rich Rod defense to get scored upon. After the game, Rich Rodriguez called it one of the best wins of his career, the latest and greatest so far. That's right. He's talking about the Gildan, New Mexico Bowl. Dude's won a Sugar Bowl. Okay? He's been, I guess beating Nevada in Santa Fe is pretty sweet.
Santa
for
Fe. I mean, probably a lot of home Nevada fans going to show up for that one. Not too far.
And good salsa.
The Forgettable? The GoDaddy.com Bowl.
Yeah.
And this is because I didn't watch it. And
You can't forget something that you've never known.
well, I forgot to. See, here's the thing. I'll watch your shitty bowl. I love bowl games. I love
yeah.
bowl season. Like I said, the Gildan, New Mexico Bowl, that was the first bowl game of the year. I watched that. That was December 15th at 9 a.m. I woke up early to watch that. It was a Saturday. But the problem was, it was 2 great teams. You had Kent State, the Golden Flashes, and the Arkansas State Red Wolves. Great team names, right?
Yeah.
The problem is...
Oh, I did watch part of this.
The problem is, it was the Sunday, before the national championship and after a week of great bowl games.
Yeah.
So I'll watch their shitty bowl game when it's part of the building up process.
Yeah.
But now that I've seen the Orange Bowl, I watched the Sugar Bowl, I watched New Year's Day. Now I'm less enthused about Arkansas State versus Kent State.
I saw that in a bar. It was just sort of like, really? Really?
Yeah.
This is the one you're going to cram between, what was the one before that? It was like Oregon and
Friday was the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah.
Saturday was the BVAA Compass Bowl.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was Pitt in Mississippi, Ole Miss.
Yeah.
But basically, my thing, you put your shitty bowl before New
Yeah.
Year's Day.
Shitty bowls go early.
And I'll watch it.
Yeah.
All right, Tardy Slip.
Uh-oh.
/ Too Cool for School Bowl. The Hyundai Sun Bowl. That's the Detroit pronunciation. Hyundai. Georgia Tech 21, USC 7. USC started the season with sky-high expectations,
Yeah,
ranked
they
number
were-
1.
Yeah.
And they finished 7-5 and were selected in the Sun Bowl. They were unhappy.
Lost to Georgia Tech.
Ouch.
Before the game, weeks before the game, a USC player tweeted, Georgia Tech? El Paso, Texas? New Year's Eve? FML. Yeah,
That means fudge my liver.
it does. Now, of course, they put these words into action. By how else? Being classless assholes. Non-participation demerit.
Whoa.
USC did not show up for the annual Sun Bowl dinner, which is with
Ooh.
Georgia Tech and other fans.
Oh, my gosh.
They arrived 90 minutes late, by which time Georgia Tech had already gotten pissed that they didn't show up, and they left. They waited around for like 90 minutes. They left, and then USC showed up,
How does an
presumably wearing
entire-
douchey sunglasses.
How does an
Right.
entire football team show up 90 minutes late?
Once you're in college, you shouldn't be showing up tardy. You should be working at the muffler shop if that's what you're going to do.
All these kids are going to be working at the muffler
Working
shop.
All
at
of
the
USC,
muffler
yeah.
shop.
But anyway, so they didn't show up for the Sun Bowl either. They lost 21-7. And this is what happens when you go 7-5 and you have shitty bowl tie-ins.
Yeah.
Lesson learned.
For you, the listeners of Sports Podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. I personally recommend a wonderful book called The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Joel saw the movie. He said that it was okay. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/comedy podcast network. Again, that's audibletrial.com/comedy podcast network for your free audiobook. And now it's time for another Weird Sport! Weird Sports.
Say, Phil,
Yeah.
what has your tireless preparation given us today for Weird Sports?
Well, this week's Weird Sport, lawnmower racing.
Okay.
I think.
What do you mean, okay?
I think I know what this is.
What?
It is people racing lawnmowers.
Possibly. Lawnmower racing is a form of motorsport in which competitors race modified lawnmowers, usually the ride-on or self-propelled variety. None of those mowers with the little choppy blades that you push, and the choppy blades spin because the wheels spin.
Hey, they never run out of gas.
Yeah, but they also make your arms tired, and you can't race them.
That's a fair point. We actually never had one of those. I always had a self-propelled mower.
Oh, look at Richie Rich over here. Look at this guy and all his money.
Money,
Wait,
man.
it wasn't-
with
it
That's
your
the first thing Jordan said so far in Weird Sports. He's just been sitting there silently.
I
going,
said okay. Well,
Yeah.
I was actually fixated on motorsport. It's a motorsport in which people. Yeah, I guess so.
oh yeah, it's got to be if it's not a motorsport and it's self-propelled lawnmowers, then they're made of magic.
So how are they modified?
All right, well let me tell you, the original mower or engines are retained, but the blades removed for safety.
Probably a good idea.
Good idea.
It eliminates much of what I think would make it an interesting sport, but
Right, which is where like you put like quartz or like diamonds in the way, and then when the blades hit them, they fly off, and then they chop
if
other
you had
people.
rocks. Also, just the potential for the blades chopping people's stuff off. It's like
Sure.
Ben-Hur with the chariot
Why do you
races.
say stuff? You make it sound like you're talking about genitalia when you say
Oh, I
that.
didn't. I just meant it could be fingers, it could be toes, it could be hands.
It's
could
gonna be.
feet.
If it's anything, it's gonna be toes. What goes
Yeah.
underneath a lawnmower?
Sometimes hands.
Well, yeah.
When
Actually,
you're trying
my
to
dad
unclog it.
cut his hand in a lawnmower.
Yeah.
It happens.
It happens. He was putting in a newly sharpened blade.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oof.
Cut his tendon right across the finger.
That'll
You
get you.
sharpened your mower blades?
Yeah.
We rolled.
Oh man, you gotta
Yeah.
take it to Weingarts.
Yeah.
Get it after the winter. Get it rebuffed. Get it new oil and all that. Anyway,
It really does make your lawnmower inefficient if you're not sharpening.
and here's the thing: if you're into lawnmower racing, I would assume after the long winter, you got to take it in and get it checked out for the races.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree. Guess what ages this sport attracts?
Old.
I'm gonna say 34 to 58.
It attracts all ages.
That was a
This
trick
sport
question.
attracts all ages, and is usually entered into a spirit of fun rather than extreme competitiveness, though many participants do take it seriously.
Now, okay, I should ask again. Are you racing to? Oh, because you take the blades out. Never mind.
I was gonna say that's the one thing that bothers me is that the part of the lawnmower is the blade.
Right.
I feel like it should be a race. Like you all have patches to mow, and whoever finishes mowing first, and then there'd be like a time deduction if you missed any.
That reminds me like a game that rich people would play just to mess with the help. Like, let's see who can mow the lawn the fastest.
I would say that reminds me of a game I played when I mowed Grandma's lawn.
Yeah. It's called Get It Done as quickly as possible.
Well, no, and her being, you missed a spot. You didn't get close enough to the compost heap. Oh, well, I didn't want to get close to the compost heap.
That's the thing. The true skill of mowing. We had a lot of trees in my yard.
Oh.
Man. That made it tricky.
I had a shed. I had a garden. I had a grapevine area.
Oh, that's
which bees everywhere.
Yeah.
Got to get in between the post and the metal.
We always had yellow jackets, like that lived in under our lawn.
Wow.
We one summer we discovered my brother was allergic to bees. Like he comes running back in, he goes and talks to my mom. She goes, "Hang on, I have to take your brother to urgent care. He got stung by a bee." And then she leaves, and I'm like, "That little shit is trying to get out of mowing the lawn, and it looks like it's gonna work." Then he came back and he had hives all up and down his back. I felt terrible.
Ah, what a sucker.
Yeah.
Well, did the bees then live in those hives that were on his
No.
back?
No.
Oh, it was a different kind of hive, Phil.
Yeah.
Oh, homophones.
Like an allergic reaction.
Yeah, two words spelled the same, pronounced the same, mean different things.
Yep.
All right, the sport was independently invented in a few different places.
What
Go
you
figure.
don't say.
Yeah, that's not because they were influenced by each other. They were just independently invented. In the United Kingdom, it was 1973 in the Cricketers' Arm Pub in Westborough Green, not far from the town of Horsham, in West Sussex, England. Our good friend West Sussex. A lot of our weird sports were founded there.
Yep.
A group of young men were bemoaning the prohibitive costs of getting involved in any kind of motorsport. So instead of paying all that money buying a drag racing car, they spent all their money forming the British Lawnmower Racing Association. And shortly thereafterwards, the Northwest Lawnmower Racing Association was formed. And they had people to combat against.
Splinter faction? Yeah.
Yeah, Splinter Faction.
Was it ever independently invented in the United States? We mow a lot of lawn here.
It was
More lawn than they do
independently-
in Britain.
It was independently invented in a bunch of places in the United States, but first and foremost, the most important one and the first one is the 12-mile 500. It's a lawnmower race that's been held in the small town of 12 Mile, Indiana. It started in 1963 as a race for factory-built mowers.
I'm sorry, is the name of the town 12 Mile?
Yeah.
Fucking Indiana, man. They can't come up with, what was it? You can't come up with a better name than 12 Mile?
Well, Eminem had a movie called 8 Mile.
It was a
and-
road.
That's a road.
Yeah, but four more sequels, and he'll be doing 12 Mile.
Wow.
Oh, I still have to capture yet another moment.
My
before
mom's
it slips.
spaghetti. My mom's spaghetti. My palms are sweaty.
Yet again, ain't mom spaghetti. I'm nervous
I'm
still.
just saying, you literally just pick a mayor, any mayor, and you name the town after him, and it's better than 12 Mile.
Yeah.
We really haven't talked much about the sport this
No,
time.
we haven't.
Well, let me tell you something about it. Lawnmower racing should not be confused with go-karting.
I wouldn't. I would never do that.
You know why it might be?
Totally different.
Little known fact, a lot of go-karts, not just something you throw turtle shells out of. Also, most go-karts have lawnmower engines in them. It's a popular kind of engine. But go-karts are using go-kart bodies, and lawnmower races use lawnmower bodies.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah, it's kind of like the difference between truck racing and car racing.
Yes, it is actually. That's a good.
Thank you. And go-karts are exclusively raced on flat surfaces, and lawnmowers are always raced off-road.
Right.
Always
on lawns,
raced.
I would hope.
Well, on lawns and dirt tracks.
You gotta like circle around trees and stuff.
No, they're like tracks. They're honest to God tracks. They got hay bales on the side, like dirt patches.
Again, it seems like if you were racing mowers, you'd want to race like you want to race through people's yards.
Yeah,
Like
I'm imagining a stadium that looks not unlike Wimbledon,
Yeah.
but for lawnmower racing.
Yeah.
And obstacles, and like.
And there would be a hose somewhere, and if you went over it, you would automatically lose.
Oh, that'd be awesome. And then water sprayed all over you and went,
Yeah.
you're all wet.
And you'd be like, oh, God damn it, I mowed over the hose.
Yeah. It was also invented independently in North Carolina. They've been running it since the summer of 1984 at the North Wilkesboro Rotary Club.
Get it? Rotary Club? It's a lawnmower?
Well, it's sanctioned by the Allegheny Mower Racing Association. There's a track at the Wilkes County Agricultural Fairground. The Wilkes County Agricultural Fairground.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. If my life reaches the point where I find myself at the Wilkes County Agricultural Fairground, I might be a little upset.
I bet.
I thought you were going to say you will have made it. That's how you know you'll made it.
I bet that a lot of kids in that area, like, that's where they get their first kiss. That sounds like the kind of place where they're like, I remember we were 13 years old at the Wilkes County Agricultural Fairground, and I kissed my uncle.
I had just won the juniors division lawnmower racing.
Yeah, damn near cut my hand off, even though there's no blades in it.
But
Yeehaw.
Uncle Zeke took notice for the first time.
Speaking of white trash, Australia also invented it. I was dreamt up in a small country pub in Harrietsville, Victoria in 1978. 5 men challenged each other to a race around local hills of the area after an alcohol-related argument.
You don't say.
Yep.
Do they have lawns? I thought Australia was just desert.
No, the outback is. There's actually some very beautiful places with lawns.
Okay.
I mean, if you think about New Zealand, the stereotype of New Zealand is kind of sprawling meadows. That's right off the Australian coast.
True.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I'm not going to get that much further into Australia because it's all the same shit. In pop culture, Lawnmower Racing Mania 2007. Anyone remember that?
I do remember that.
Xbox game.
I know
Xbox
they had
game.
all of those lawnmower racing pogs that came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's it was a big Xbox game, a major release by EV Interactive. Game did okay. And it was officially licensed by the U.S. Lawnmower Racing Association, so they got a little scratch right there.
That is a payday.
Yeah. That is some person who pitched an idea at a video game meeting and did not expect it to go anywhere. And then all of a sudden it was developed.
That is I'm guessing, the best thing that's ever happened to the U.S. Lawnmower Racing Association.
Yeah, probably. TV shows Lawnmower Racing was featured in. There's 2 that are very obvious. 2 out of the 3 they list.
Tool Time? Or no, Home Improvement.
Home Improvement. That's number 1. That's one of the very obvious ones. What's
Okay.
the other one where it's very obvious if you think about it?
Lawnmowers USA?
No, it's cartoon. It's a cartoon on Fox.
Oh, King of the Hill.
Yeah.
King of the Hill, yes. And then also it was in Yes Dear, but nobody watched that. And it was also in the movie The Prince and Me. Never saw that movie, but apparently Lawnmower Racing heavily featured. So
Is that the one where Hugh Jackman comes from back in time? The romantic comedy?
probably.
So
and
he
they-
comes back in time to race
Yep.
lawnmowers.
I have
Yeah.
to go in a lawnmower race to win my bride.
Well, it makes sense. You get the Hugh Jackman's like the proper British guy, and he has to race lawnmowers. That's your basic comic juxtaposition.
Does anyone else, when you hear the name Hugh Jackman, think Huge Ackman?
Yeah.
Like, it sounds like everyone's saying the word huge and then Ackman.
I'll go on record and say I think Hugh is like one of the worst names ever because of that. Because it has this absurdly soft vowel ending that almost anything that follows it sounds funny.
And that comes to an end. Another Weird Sports.
Citizens of podcast land, this brings us to the close of another sports
Sports.
podcast. But before we go, Phil would like to give you our contact information.
You can email us at sportspodcast@gmail.com. That's sportspodcast@gmail.com. You can tweet at us at sports3podcast. That's at sports3podcast. You can find us on Facebook by searching Sports Podcast, your little top bar thingy. You can find us on Stitcher Radio. Download the Stitcher app today at Stitcher.com and search Sports Podcast. You can find us on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/ComedyPodNet. That's youtube.com/ComedyPodNet. You can find us on iTunes by searching Sports 3 Space Podcast. That's Sports 3 Space Podcast. When you're there, please rate and review. You can also find us on ComedyPodcastNetwork.com. It's got all our back episodes, and you can friend us.
You okay there, Phil?
Yeah, I lost my rhythm about halfway through, and I had to maintain by jumping into a character.
Don't take this the wrong way. That was the worst contact info you have ever done.
About halfway through, I knew I was doing wrong.
Which speaks to how well you normally do it, Phil.
Yeah, I know. I screwed up.
Hey, happens to everybody. You really Notre Damed that contact info, but lights up.
You have received this transmission from the Comedy Podcast Network. For more shows, visit comedypodcastnetwork.com.